Coming to you, undead from the crypt. This is Adelaide Horror Podcast. Adelaide Horror Podcast with Zombie Joe.
Hi and welcome to the Adelaide Horror Podcast. This is your host, Zombie Joe. Tonight's episode is number 33. It is still continuing from the international horror segment that I'm doing at Adelaide Horror Podcast, and I'm covering the country of Poland tonight. And it's the Polish horror film Nobody Sleeps in the Woods tonight from 2020, and it's currently showing on Netflix. So definitely check it out. This is the one that jumped out for me. I really didn't expect this. I kept seeing it in my watch list. It was one of those things where it sits in your watch list for a while. You keep wanting to go back to it, and then another horror film comes in. You kind of lose your self, and suddenly you get snowballed, and you've got like 100 horror movies to watch. So unfortunately, Nobody Sleeps in the Woods kind of sat in that category for quite some time. And eventually there was a rainy day and I was going through all the watch list and that popped up and I thought, oh yeah, that's right, I haven't checked this out yet. And didn't really know much about this thing, didn't check it out, didn't read up any synopsis stuff, kind of went in blind with it. I only read that little synopsis bit when you click on the movie, when you watch Netflix, and just said horror film for Poland. I thought, okay, this is cool, because I have not seen anything from Poland, horror-wise, anyway. So I thought that's pretty cool. I definitely want to check this out. And I thought, look, I've got some time to kill. It's not going to hurt me, so let's check it out. And man, I couldn't be more surprised and more delighted with this film. I really have added this to my international list that I actually want to purchase the DVD and own it on the shelf. I'm that. Wouldn't say in love with it. That's a bit dramatic. I'm definitely very chuffed with this movie and really enjoyed it, and was really surprised how well executed this film was. So yeah, definite recommend for me, and hence why it's the movie tonight representing Poland in the international segment. So I'll get stuck straight into it. So yeah, 2020. The caption for this movie, which I thought was "They died without internet," which they translated into Polish. I thought that was quite funny. Basically, the storyline is a group of teens that are addicted to the internet have been sent off by their parents to a detox, no internet, no technology camp, and so they go off into the woods in Poland and sit this camp, or begin to sit the camp. And unbeknown to them, the same timeline, these two creatures are kind of let out by accident, by some set of circumstances, and eventually they end up crossing paths, and things go very wrong, very bloody, and very gorily wrong. So it's a well thought out, well designed, very original piece of script writing and storyline. So it's directed by Bartosz Kalowski, and written also by Bartosz, but also with Jan Kowinski and Mariela Zukowski. So apologies again for not pronouncing surnames correctly. I've tried. All three of them did another Polish horror film, which I've jotted down that I want to see, and it's called Hellhole. So that looks very interesting as well. It is in Polish. It is in English subtitles. You can get that available from the Netflix when you start watching it. You can turn it off and watch it in Polish, or you can watch it in English with the subtitles. The subtitles are good in this one, so when they're actually talking, they're not zipping through really quickly and you're trying to read the sentence and understand what's going on at the same time. So it's paced quite well. Actually, I was actually quite surprised and quite happy to see that. So I was able to follow pretty real time what everyone's saying, like matches what they're saying. I don't speak Polish, so I don't know whether what they're saying is actually connecting. It's the same as with me when I watch an Italian movie. Like, it's what they're saying and what the subtitles are saying are two different things. So I'm assuming if you're Polish and you're watching this, you'd probably be able to agree with me on that one. It's only available at the moment. What I can see, it's available for free on Netflix. Definitely check it out. The runtime's an hour and 47 minutes, and that's including credits. And the action begins at the 35-minute mark. So you're building the characters really well up until that point. You actually like the characters. There's no one that you don't like in this. So that kind of makes it a bit more interesting when the shit goes down, because you're kind of invested with everybody, like even the counselors. Like, you don't hate anyone, which is quite unusual. Usually they kind of make a few people that you don't like and you're kind of looking forward to their demise when it occurs. But in this case here, that's not that didn't happen. So you're actually kind of like, oh shit, like when something happens, you're kind of like, oh, get out of there, come on. Like, you're kind of rooting for them a bit. So which was good. Out of 10, I'm definitely giving this a 9. I was really surprised and really delighted again when I saw this movie. So a high recommend with this one. First time horror movie, yeah, you could. There's some gory bits in here. Probably hands down one of the best jump scare kills I've ever seen in a very long time. Very, very long time. I'm so desensitized to these kill scenes, whatever, in these horror films. When a movie comes along and you're eating your popcorn and I'm drinking my coffee and I literally threw my mug, like, in the air. When I first saw this, I just busted my mug, I spilt my coffee. This thing made me jump out of my skin. Like, I didn't even know that was going to happen. It was so fucking one of the best jump scares in a long time. I put it up with Exorcist, the Exorcist 3 jump scare with the nun in the hallway and the shears going past. I've put it in the top 5 jump scares for me anyway. And for me to just yell out, whoa, shit, like, as soon as it happened, like, because I was so taken back. I wasn't even expecting it. Yeah, man, you just got to watch it for that bit. Like, I'm not going to say, like, you're going to freak when it happens. It's so well done. And that cemented it for me. This is when I was like, yeah, I need this horror movie on my shelf. This is phenomenal. Like, well done. It was released in Australia on the 28th of October, so we got it for Halloween 2020 that year. It was released in Poland on the 20th of March, and the US got the same deal. It was a Halloween Netflix release for that. The location, so it was filmed in a forest. Now, it's Puziska Kamowski. And the last one, yeah, I'm not going to attempt it, not to be disrespectful, but yeah, if I keep ploughing through it, it's not going to sound great. So, yeah, it's obviously a forest campsite area that they filmed it in Poland. And yeah, the Polish horror recommend after that would be Hellhole, written by the same crew. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this and seeing how they go with it. If you're a completist, there is Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight too. Now, I went into this one excited, thinking, here we go, this is going to continue. It does. It actually continues on from the first end of the first movie in the credits. There's some bits that were good, and then it shut the bed. It just completely shut the bed. So look, if you're a completist, by all means, watch number 2. But don't go into it thinking it's going to be, if one's going to rock your socks, don't go into number 2 thinking it's going to do the same thing. It doesn't. It just completely fizzles out and it goes completely sideways, which was a bit disappointing. But look, hey, fucking, who cares? You know, get some real problems. It's a movie. it didn't work out. You know, they tried to experiment a bit. They fucked around. Like, it didn't go well. So it is what it is. Doesn't matter. Like, but number one, absolutely, yeah. Just in what for me personally, watch number one. Don't worry about number two. I've already watched it for you. It's not that great. However, like I said, if you're a completist, go and check it out. But you've been warned. So we've got the two brothers, Jacob and Philip. They're the twin monsters, and so what happens? So okay, look, I can't go into spoilers, right? So these are the two boys and their mum, and they live in the house in the forest, and something happens, and it affects them. So ever since then, the mum has been the caretaker for them. And because they're in the rural area of Poland, no one's seen them. Like, so they're not exposed to the real life or people or whatever. So in a way, she's managed to successfully hide them away from everybody. And it just so happens that a postman has come along, and he got attacked. Like, this is at the start of the movie, so you kind of get a glimpse and a bit of a timestamp when that occurred, and then you see the movie, and it's like, I think 20 or 30 years later or something, and then the kids come to the camp. So there's a timestamp to when this has all occurred. So the postman is played by Mario Slav, and the cat manager is played by Wisacek, and I can't pronounce his last name, and the camp leader is played by Bartolome, and again, I can't pronounce his last name. The policeman is Olaf Labuzensko, and there's a prostitute that joins him, and it's Isabella Jabrowski, and the priest is played by Peter Gowas. And so he pops up later on. So these are the side characters that you get. Like, once the shit hits the fan and the twins are kind of running around, we meet the policeman, the prostitute, and the priest. It sounds like a fucking bad joke, but that's what it is. And then you've got the kids that are in there's a whole group of, you see about 20 kids, but throughout the movie it focuses on 7 kids, like in between, or five. So there's Rosia, played by Julia, and I can't pronounce her last name. Anella, which is played by Wida Wikitera, and then there's Daniel, played by Sebastian Della, and there's Burlek, who's played by Stanislaw, and I can't pronounce that last one, and then Juliak, which is played by Michael Lupia. And these are the main characters. And like I said, the great thing, and then you've got, the group leader, which is played by Tia, played by Gabriela Maskalova. Anyway, and even them, like I said, it's the unusual approach that Bartos has done with this movie, where they're likable, and it makes it a bit hard when the stuff, it's not like, you're crying and you're bawling your eyes out because something's happened, but you kind of more invested in them when shit starts to go wrong, like, and you're really rooting for them at that point when it all comes out. The two twin monsters, they're kind of a victim of circumstance as well, so you kind of not, it's unusual because you're kind of not angry at them either. You're kind of thinking, okay, they're just doing what they're doing because they don't know any better, and like I said, they're just a victim of circumstance in that point. So and then they just go around, and like I said, due to a chain of event of just uncanny things, they just happen to get released, and it just, the kind of shit hits the fan with that, and we get a lot of fun, gory fun times, like as a consequence of it. And so being an hour and 47 minutes, it's quite a decent sit and you've got your attention. And like I said, the action pretty much kicks off half an hour into it. And again, another movie with a phenomenal info dump. How they've done this, and again, exactly like the Indian horror movie I carried the last episode, because the director knew that this was going to be released to a Western audience, and that we're going to kind of, struggle reading subtitles and stuff to play it safe. He did the info dump as a visual info dump, and it's just genius. Like it's just really, really well done. I couldn't be more impressed with this movie and how he's done it. There is a nod to a particular horror movie. I'm not going to say to this. When you see it, you're not going to get pissed off. You're not going to go, oh, he ripped that. You're just going to go, you know what, mate? Here's a beer. Fucking cheers. Well done. Like the nod to this particular horror movie was just so really well done. It made me laugh out loud. I thought that's but not mocking it. I just was impressed that he did it. So that was really good. You could tell this guy was a horror fan. That you could tell that the screenwriters were horror fans as well. And the dialogue was really good. And very, very impressed. So this is my Polish recommendation for this episode, for the international episode for Adelaide Horror Podcast. So covering Poland, Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. Definite recommend. 9 out of 10. Check it out. You'll love it. So all good there. So that's really it for tonight. It's going to be short, sharp, and shiny. I don't have much time, so I managed to sneak this one in, but I wanted to release a thing. You can see the Napoli shirt at the back there. I'm very happy. Napoli finally won after 33 games, and that's the Halloween edition T-shirt that they released, so I had to hang it up. I had to enjoy the victory. It's been ages. So, Forza Napoli. So, so that's that. Baby's going well, all good here in the crypt. We're very excited, and little baby Zombie's doing very well, so all good there. And yes, so stay scary, and I'll see you in the crypt.
Adelaide Horror Podcast with Zombie Joe.